So now you can pick up your line command. You can use your line command. You can also use your rectangle command. Okay. So now let's pick our rectangle command from the draw toolbar. Now this is your rectangle command. And then you choose the starting point. Now you have options of area, dimension, rotation. So let's choose dimension. So dimension, the first letter is D. You type D and then enter. Okay. So now what is the length? We are choosing a length of 230, as you can see from the diagram. 230, and then a breadth of 100. We are choosing a breadth of 100. A breadth of 100. So now you can enter it. Then you left click. So after left clicking, you can take your construction line, or you take your line command. You take from this point to this point, then escape. So you now take your offset. So your offset from modify toolbar. So let's offset through distance of 10. Okay, so you press 10, enter. So you're offsetting this line. 1, 2. So there are actually many ways by which you can draw this. There are many methods. So this is just one of the several methods you can use. Okay, so now escape. So you can also take your line command again. From here to here, you draw another line, escape. Then you now take your offset. From here, take your offset again. Now we are offsetting through a distance of 10. So 10 is already indicated there. So you can just press enter. So you now come here. You can see the line you just drew is highlighted. You left click on it towards the left. You now right click and then left click, enter. So now you can pick up your trim command from modify toolbar. Your trim, and then you don't need this place. 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 So you also don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. You don't need this. So the same thing here. You don't need it also. You don't need it also. Okay. So now you can also come to this side, and then you can trim off this. Trim off this. And then you trim off this. Okay, you trim off. Okay, Ctrl Z. You trim off this, and then this. Okay. Okay, this one should be the one you have to trim off this, and then enter. You can pick up your line command. This one can be withdrawn. So from here to here. Okay. So then you escape. So now let me remove this border line. So now you can now take another rectangle of 160 by 120. So take your rectangle from this point. Rectangle. Specify any convenient point. So the length is 120. So you choose D, enter. 120 by 160. As you can see on the diagram, 160. 160, enter. Okay, then you left click. So now you can take your move command, left click, take left click on it. You can see everything is highlighted. You now right click. It's now asking you to specify a base point. So let's choose the midpoint here as our base point. So we now move it to this point exactly. You can see where you see the end point. That's how you place it. You now left click here. Okay. So as I said earlier on, there are many methods by which you can do this. So now let's draw the inner rectangle. So you can just come here, take your draw toolbar, rectangle. The length is what? 80, while the breadth is 40. So you take your starting point. Okay. So that is your left, and so you take your dimension, which is D, enter. So the length is 80, you type 80, enter. The breadth is 40, 40, enter. Then you now left click. So after left clicking, you know that the distance from this place to this place is 20. So you can take your line command, place it on this, and then you can just offset it. Escape, and then you can now offset. Come to your modify toolbar, and then you offset. So offset distance is 10. Since 10 is red, is it 10 or 20? Offset distance is 20. Enter. So you can now take your line command, left click here, take it downward, and then you right click. Okay. So the same thing. The distance from here to here. This is located at the midpoint between here and here. So the midpoint is going to be at point 60. So you can just take your your move command, select this is what you want to move, and then you right click. So this is the midpoint. Left click here, and then you take it to the midpoint here. Left click here again. So once you are done, you can trim. Come to your modify toolbar, trim. Okay, then you trim this. You also trim this. Okay, so you enter. So you can mirror this particular rectangle. In order to mirror this, you come to your modify toolbar, you come to your mirror. Now this is what you want to mirror. You left click on it. You can see everything is highlighted. You left click on it, and then you now right click. So what's it asking to do? Specify the first point of mirror line. You choose the midpoint here. Now you left click on the midpoint. You now come. So it's just going to be the midpoint or the mid-axis between what you want to mirror. So you can see you can either come this left hand side or you come towards the right hand side. You can see the mirrored shape is already showing. You now left click at any point. It's now asking you to erase the source object. I need to erase the source object. If you choose yes, it means this one will be out of it. But if you choose no, it means it will not be there. It will still remain there. So, but we want it to remain. So that's why we choose no. So no, since it is already on no, left click on it. So you can see that automatically it has mirrored it. So now what you are left with is your fillet. Okay, so for this particular point, what is your fillet? You pick your fillet tool again. You come here. Now what is the radius of a fillet? You take radius and then enter. So the radius of a fillet is 10. So 1, 0, enter. So now you pick up this point, then spacebar. Spacebar, don't forget, is to repeat your previous command. You pick up this point, spacebar, this point, spacebar, this point, spacebar, this point, spacebar, then this point, and then this point. Okay, so the same thing you do here, spacebar again, you pick this point and then this point, then spacebar, pick this point, spacebar, this point, spacebar, this point, this point, space bar, this point, this point, space bar, this point, this point, space bar. So you can pick up your line command again and redraw this. You can see it's disappeared already. So you can escape, then pick up your line command again, space bar. From here, okay, escape. Or you just pick up your rectangle. You already know that it is 160 by 120. So you pick up your rectangle command. Your rectangle command. Okay, so we choose the starting point. And then now what is the dimension? D is dimension of the length is 120, 120, enter. The breadth is 160, so 160, enter. So you left click here. So now all you need to do is move it. So you come to your modify toolbar again. You pick your your modify toolbar, move. So now this is what you want to move. Left click on it, then right click, then choose the midpoint. So now where is your midpoint? The midpoint, you can see the triangle. So you left click on it and then you bring it back. Okay, so now you can trim again. Come to modify toolbar and then you trim this, trim this, trim this, trim this. Okay, so enter, right click and then enter. So this you don't need it. You highlight and delete, press delete key. You also highlight, delete key. Okay, so you need to trim this. So you come to your modify toolbar, trim, right click, and then left click on this. Okay, so now what is left? We're expected to also fillet this. So enter, escape, you come to modify toolbar, you click on fillet. So the fillet radius still remains 10. Okay, so and 10 is already there, is it not? Okay, press R, enter. So since 10 is already there, you press enter again. So you fillet this, space bar, and then space bar to repeat the previous command, space bar again, like this, space bar, and then like this, space bar, like this, space bar again, space bar, space bar. Okay, so now since you are done, you just come to your dimension tool. So but before that, you can trim this unwanted part. So the same thing here, you can also trim this, you can also trim this. So you can trim this as well, you can trim this middle one here as well, and then you trim this as well. So what we are left with now is just the dimension. Okay, so now right click and then left click with enter. So now what's your dimension? You come to your dimension, linear. Okay, from here to here, that is 160. How about from here to here? That's 120. Okay, so but it's looking very tiny and you cannot see it. You can just come to your dimension, to dimension style, then you come to modify, then you come to text. You now try to adjust the height. Okay, now let's take it to say around 4. Okay, you can see text 4, then okay. Okay, still looking small. Okay, so now let's come to dimension style, modify. So now let's change the text height to 6. You can see this is under text. You now come to OK and then close it. So you can see it's bigger now. So this 160, this 120. So dimension, you finish up the dimension. From here to here, is 230. Okay, spacebar for your previous command. So from here to here is what is 100. Okay, so now what's your radius? What's the radius of the fillet? You can also indicate that. You only need to come here, choose radius. So this is radius, and the radius is 10. Okay, so we are done with the dimensions. So remaining this as well, from this point to this point. So that's 40. And then from here to here, that's 20. Okay, so once you are done, you can go to your print. This is your print. Left click here, or you can just press Ctrl P. Okay, Ctrl P. So now, after that, you now come to this point here. You choose DW to PDF. You also come to here, you choose window. So now window, it means you're going to select what you want to print. So this is all you want to print. Okay, and then that is it. So now you now come here, you choose, you can see this is it here. This is what you're trying to print. So you can come to portrait or landscape. So now we want it at landscape. Now you also come here, you choose center the plot. You can see that that red has disappeared since you have centered the plot. So now, if you like, you can preview it. But here you can also make this place monochrome. Okay, so yes. So after that, you directly can preview it. Okay, so this is it. So once you preview it, you can then print it.